Hey, everybody, welcome to Hollywood Live. I'm Tanya Hart. My guest today is going to be really busy during the month of April. He's got a lot of great stuff coming up. You know him, you love him, and he's certainly a friend and family of us here at American Urban Radio Network. Say hi to Roy Wood Jr. How are you?
Well, hello. That's my distinguished voice. Well, hello and good evening and salutations.
And greetings.
What's going on?
Oh, you, honey. I love it. So, for people who didn't know, and I don't know who that would be, Roy, you were actually a contributor to The Daily Show for a while back there when no one was doing it. And now you're going to be hosting.
Yeah, I can get a week of guest hosting. You know, they've been doing a series of guest hosts since Trevor stepped down. And, you know, we've had some great people. D.L. Hughley, Wanda Sykes, Marlon Wayans, John Leguizamo, the homegirl Leslie Jones, and now they're starting to let the in-house correspondents, they letting us tiptoe and get a little nibble on that chair. So it's a blessing to be a part of it. April 3rd through 6th, we're going to be on air every night at 11 o'clock, and just in time for your boy Trump getting caught up. So we're going to have ourselves a little chit-chat about old Don.
Could you have picked a better week? Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness gracious. This is right up there with winning the Powerball. So to be able to talk about something that is literally historically unprecedented in our nation's history, which is a president being indicted for crimes, like a president about to get fingerprinted, like Jim Pop. It's a blessing to be in the seat, you know? And so, you know, my intention is to get up there and crack some jokes as best we can.
And I am, boy, will you have a lot of material to work with next week. I cannot wait. We will all be tuning in for that. And coming right off the heels of that, you're also going to be hosting the White House Correspondents' Dinner. You're going to be the guest kind of comedian, kind of entertainer for that.
Yeah, now that's a whole different bag. Now, see, hosting a daily show is one thing because I just get to make jokes and you got all these writers, but the White House Correspondents' Dinner, to me, that's an even bigger honor because to a degree, the Correspondents' Dinner is an opportunity for, in my case, a comedian to be the voice of the voters. Like how the president delivers the State of the Union, I think it's my responsibility to deliver the state of the constituents. And it's not often, in fact, I would try to think to another time of year, correct me if I'm wrong, where a citizen just gets to walk up on stage in front of a room full of federally elected officials and tell them what they're doing right and wrong, while also, you know, offering a little bit of critique of the media, but more importantly, offering nuance and perspective to the difficult job that is being a journalist.
Yes, very, very true. Well, I was there last year. Actually, Trevor was the host last year, the MC.
Yeah.
And he did a great job.
Well, wherever Trevor hosts, I just go replace him. That's what I'm trying to do.
Big footsteps to follow, but he did a great job. I'm sure you will too. And plus, you get to hang with the president and first lady, and you know all those folks.
Yeah,
Not a bad gig.
a little hobnobbing. You know, I'm trying to run into some of these random Republicans too. I'm trying to see what's going on. You got to see this nonsense in person. Got to meet George Santos. Got to meet Nikki Haley. I got to see if this is as wild as it seems on TV.
You could not make all of this stuff up. But all of that being said, and we know that for the past probably, well, now what, 6, 7, 8 years, the comedians have had a lot to work with after Trump became president. And then he left, but there was still a lot to work with. And now he's trying to make a comeback. But, you know, what do you think is going to happen? I mean, next week could be more than a historic week for that reason. Do you think that people are going to riot? I mean, what do you think is going to happen?
I don't know if people are going to riot. Number one, all of this talking about y'all going to come down to the courthouse. Look, you caught the government slipping on January 6th. What you're not going to do is catch them slipping 2 times. So you best watch your step. And to get to Trump, you got to go through the NYPD and the FBI. This ain't no just random local police force. No disrespect to the Capitol Police Department, who didn't get the supplies they needed and didn't get the backup they needed to handle business on January 6th. But these mofos is prepared in New York.
Yeah, they Yeah.
All right, this ain't gonna be no sneak attack. So if you, and also I don't know if you've seen the footage on the NYPD, but they are undefeated.
Yeah.
They are in the playoffs of ass whoopings every year. They make it to the conference championship of whoopings. So you come on down here and fight for Trump if you want. You're gonna leave with less teeth and no dental. I
Okay.
don't. I think there are still diehards, but I think people who are seriously about that life, I don't know if this is the smoke that they want. I just don't know. And you have to really think about what you're doing when you're talking about trying to put your life and your freedom on the line for a man that ultimately, if you really start digging and looking at the facts, probably didn't give two damns about you to begin with. So,
Of course not.
there'll be some people, but for everybody who's thinking that New York is going to turn into Gotham City, Batman, Dark Knight, Batman was fighting in the streets with Bane, and I don't think it's going to be any of that.
Yeah.
If it is,
I
let me know
agree.
so I can stay home from work. I'll do the Daily Show from this room I'm in right now.
Hey, I know that's right. But you won't have to do that. I absolutely agree. And I think it's very interesting that Mitch McConnell hasn't said anything about any of this either. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, you also notice some of these Republican governors are all just calling it a witch hunt and publicly decrying everything. And, Trump is in Florida, and if he doesn't turn himself over, it's supposed to be the governor is supposed to authorize a task force to go in to get the fugitive. Like the apprehension of federal fugitives is handled like somehow on a state level with the state feds within that. And Ron DeSantis already said, "Hey, that ain't none of my business." Yes, it is. You the governor.
Okay. Yeah, it is.
You the governor. How you gonna say this ain't your business? Like everybody said, "Yeah, I don't know what to do." To go say something. Everybody is just still playing to the base. Say what you want about Republicans, but boy, they are dedicated to staying together.
Well, yeah, they have a main cause, and that is to stay in power. And they will lie, they will cheat, they will steal, they will rape, they will pillage. They'll do anything to stay in power. And that's what they've done. And so if you aspire to that, then that's who you are.
I think the thing that I wish Democrats understood from Republicans is that there is no opportunity sometimes in morality. Now, I understand it's important to have standards. I understand it's important to have morals. But if it was a Democrat getting caught up, man, they would have been just, I denounce him and he's terrible. Like, shh, you need to be quiet until the election. Denounce him after the election, which is what the Republicans will do. Like, they're not going to say it right now. You got another primaries around the corner.
Right around the corner. Okay. Well, I love the fact that, comedians are now able to have some really good fodder to talk about. And I know you do too. So you're right. This was the best week ever to probably host this daily show, because this will be history in the making, and you're making history there yourself. We absolutely love that. But I think we should also tell people, I talked about you being part of the AURN family. Turns out your father, Roy Wood Sr., used to be, before this was American Urban Radio Networks, it was, I think, the National Black Radio.
National Black Network, NBN.
Yeah, NBN. And your dad was like at the top of the food chain on that. He was
my father was one of the founding members of the National Black Network, which at its time was essentially the radio news nucleus for the Black community. And, they broadcast from WVON in Chicago, and they did a lot of syndicated segments that went out. I don't have to explain it to you, but my father, he took it upon himself to always inform Black people about any injustices that were going on, across the globe. My dad was embedded with Black Vietnam platoons who were dealing with racism. He was in South Africa during the Soweto riots, getting shot at by snipers. He was in Rhodesia, Zimbabwe now, but the Rhodesian Civil War, getting shot at. Pretty much wherever Black people getting mistreated, my dad would pull up with a tape recorder. So, it's an honor to be able to do something, I'm not going to sit here and act like anything that I do. Like, I don't like the phrase of follow it in the footsteps, because I'm not. Like, I'm finding the issues, but I have the luxury of humor. My father did not. And I know now about what we go through as a people, I'm even more amazed that my father was able to do it without being angry, or he understood how to partition his anger and disdain to still stay on point and do the job, which is to deliver the information to the people. And in comedy, anger can drive you, but it's not going to make a joke funnier, if that makes sense. And so I have to partition anger, because the moment I'm angry and I'm angry, it stops being funny.
Very interesting, and also very, very true. But even though you're not following in your father's footsteps, what do you think you gleaned from his ability to do what he did? Because that was really hard stuff. That was hardcore stuff in those days.
Yeah, that was real journalism. For me, I took away this ability to make sure that people keep their third eye open. I did, when I got my learner's permit when I was 15, I used to drive my pops around to all the speaking engagements. And so that's when I started really shadowing him as an orator and watching him speak at churches and community functions and, like just whatever random event that was happening somewhere, conferences and stuff, and watching how passionate he was about caring for Black people. I think that's something that I definitely took from him. And then, once I ended up at Florida A&M, my pops had me at second base. FAMU let me round third and got me home when it came to, properly representing the Black experience once you get out into the world.
Right. I love it. Well, it's kind of full circle, if you think about it. And of course, you're now going to be doing some stuff for AURN and Super Radio. Well, actually for Super Radio. Tell us a little bit about that. Or am I not supposed to say that?
No, you're fine. You're fine. Okay. What I'm trying to get into with AURN, and we're going to figure it out on the other side of the correspondence dinner. I want to bring that news feel back to some of our radio affiliates, but still make it funny, but also make it fast, because that's the biggest hurdle now in radio, in my opinion, is the need for brevity. But we also need proper information, and you need information that contains nuance, and that takes time. You need information with nuance that's also funny. So nailing that and threading that needle on a regular basis, I think that's something I can do, and I'm excited for the opportunity. I did morning radio for 14 years. I started as an intern at the same station that my father used to take me to when I was 5 years old. And, I left Birmingham after 10 years and, landed in Atlanta, and I did a little bit of time in Atlanta over at the KISS affiliate. So it's a fun journey. I had to stop doing radio because I got the Daily Show, and at the time in 2016, I was a new father. I was trying to figure out the Daily Show. I just moved to New York City. I could not add a 4-hour radio show to my schedule. I couldn't do it. So to have an opportunity to start putting my toe back in the water with AURN, I had to jump on that.
I know, and I can't wait to see what you're going to do, and we'll have to collaborate on some stuff, since you're out there in New York and I'm here in LA, and there's always stuff to do and talk about out here.
Always.
What would you say, as a comedian today, which is different from, we look at what just happened to the whole Will Smith and, Chris Rock thing, and how comedians, I think people change their attitudes about comedians and all across the board in different kinds of ways. But, when you look at people that are that popular in our culture, and we are the culture, and when something like that happens, then there's a lot of fodder, there's a lot of things to talk about for people, like yourself. But what is the real essence of comedians today and what they contribute to the world?
I think that comedians are still, the freest form of journalism and speech that exists. It is unregulated, which is a good thing. It's also why there's so many people who have a camera phone and just an opinion, who can get their word out there and get retweeted hundreds of thousands of times. I think if you have the ability to connect with what people are already feeling or what people are already thinking, then you're going to say something that resonates. And if there's going to be people that disagree, they're going to disagree. But I don't think that there is a way to toe the line and play both sides of an issue. You have to choose. And when you choose, there will be detractors. And it doesn't matter if you made it as a joke. If they want to be offended, they're going to be offended. But the job of speaking freely and using humor as an opportunity to distill horrible stuff or just fun, silly stuff, I don't think that will ever go away. Even when the AI chatbots come and start recreating everything that we do and feel and think, they can't perform.
Yeah.
At least not yet. You never know. They're probably working on that too.
Well, they might be. I don't know. And that is, we were just talking about AI the other day and younger Black folks getting, that are in STEM being involved in that. It's a little frightening, isn't it? I mean, because here's what happened. We got the internet. The internet has a lot of good things going on, but it started with nobody taking responsibility for that Pandora's box. And so now we have what we have. AI is going to be worse than that. So, how do we handle all of that?
I don't know. I think you have to stay educated. You have to seek information from more than one source. I do think that we're at a crux where, when you really look at this crossroads that we're in society, the fact that Elon Musk came out recently and said that Elon Musk and one of the co-founders of Apple said, hey, y'all, can we stop making AI for 6 months till we can figure out what this is and make sure it's not going to kill us? When Elon Musk says, hey, y'all doing too much, you're doing too much.
You're doing too much. You're right. Mm-hmm. You're right. And for those who might be wondering what we're talking about, artificial intelligence, that's AI. And you should start educating yourself about it because it's here and you don't want to wake up one day and it's taking over your whole body.
They have machines that can write speeches faster and better than you. They have machines that can mimic your voice. So imagine a machine that can mimic your voice and type out dialogue and auto dial somewhere and call and pretend to be you.
Yeah.
Now that would be an easy way to make your girl think that you home if you cheating. You could just have the bot call you girl. Wait a minute, this ain't all bad. Let me think about it a little bit and let me get back to you.
Yeah, except for when they show up and you realize, oh shoot, it did a turn on me. And
no, baby, do not come over. Stuff. Do not come over, baby. I am in the shower.
Yeah, right. Roy, it's always a pleasure. We will be watching you this next week, and like I said, it's going to be a heck of a ride this coming week. So,
indeed,
we'll be watching and I know you're going to have fun with it because at the end of the day, that's what it is all about. We do have to because you got to have fun with this. Otherwise, it's you go insane. It's too crazy. It's just crazy. So thank you for providing that bit of fun and that lighter brevity that we can all use when we need to get through this week like we're going to need to.
Will do. All right. Thank you very much.
Good to see you, and we'll be checking you out here at American Urban Radio Networks. And for everybody else out there, thank you for checking us out. And by the way, take care of yourself and somebody else.